Let's have a convo. Hashtag relationship goals. We can talk about what we've been through. You can learn from me. I can learn from you. You can learn from me. I can learn from you. Hey, you guys. What's up? And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Kickin' It with Nes and Friends. I'm your girl, Nes. And it's just me today. It is May 7th. It's a Friday. And this weekend is Mother's Day. So I recorded an episode on my son's birthday, his third birthday, April 29th, about my story of natural birth. But I thought it'd be better to present it for Mother's Day instead. So let's get into the story. So, of course, I remember the day like it was yesterday. I had him on a Sunday, so it was a Saturday. Definitely a Saturday. I had been nesting all that week. So nesting, for you guys who don't know, is when the expecting mom is setting up everything for her baby to come. So I had set up the playpen, the bassinet, messing with the stroller, putting away all the clothes and diapers. I had been doing that the whole week. So Saturday came and I was at Michael's. I was getting some final touch craft stuff for the house that I wanted to do for the baby. And it just seemed like a normal day. Went on about my business. Wasn't any uncomfort or any pain. Just did my thing. And so that night I had scheduled a prenatal massage with my really close friend, who is also my son's godmother. And she came over. It was late at night. I think it was 8 or 9. And she came over to do the prenatal massage. So I'm getting the massage done and we're just talking and we're laughing. And she's like, oh, there's supposed to be this pressure point that if I press it, you could go into labor. So I'm like, press it. So, we laugh. She finishes up the massage. I kid you not, guys. Literally 2 minutes after the massage, I started getting contractions. Now, they were the beginning stages of labor, so they weren't that uncomfortable and unbearing. And I honestly didn't really even know if they were contractions because I wasn't sure. This is my first child. It's my first time being pregnant. So I just knew that I kept feeling something and it kept being constant. So we're all sitting down at dinner, me, my son's dad, my friend and his daughter. And I'm like, you guys, I think I'm having contractions. I think something's happening. So it was just so funny because it's just you can never plan when, it's going to happen. So we finished dinner and I'm like, no, yeah, this is real. It's still happening. I'm going to make sure that it continues to happen. But I think this is it, guys, because I haven't never felt anything like this yet. So I think something's going on. So we should probably get ready. So at that point, it had probably been an hour after she finished the massage. I'm still feeling, this feeling. So we all start to get ready. We lived in an outside town, and where I was supposed to give birth was in Cambridge, which was pretty far away from where we lived. So we had to kind of get closer into the city. I thought, before it wasn't possible. So we start getting ready. We start leaving. It's 10 something at night at this point. And we end up going to my son's father's brother's house in Boston, in the city. And yep, I'm still having contractions. At this point, it's serious. I'm, in early labor. It's about to go down. So we go to his house. The contractions start getting worse. Oh my gosh, I think I threw up. I threw up the dinner that we had. I was like, oh no, this is not fun. This is not okay. And we call the place where I'm supposed to give birth. So I'm talking to the lady over the phone and she's like, oh, you sound fine. You sound like you're not in any pain. Didn't even ask me like how much pain I was in. Just assumed how much pain I was in from, how I was speaking to her. She's like, oh, you sound fine. You should probably rest because this is a long process. Maybe take a nap and call us back in a couple of hours, time the contractions. At this point, I think they were like 4 minutes apart. So to me, that was pretty constant. That was pretty rapid. I'm like, it's going to get worse. It's going to get closer. Like, what? I'm sorry. Huh? Hello? So at his brother's house, going through it, you guys, like I'm standing up, I'm on the floor, I'm squatting, I'm on my knees. I'm trying to do whatever feels more comfortable, but nothing is working. Like the pain is intense. Like it was serious. Call the lady back. Hey, they're closer now and a lot more intense. Is there any way that we can come in? This lady tells me, you guys, like, you know what? You sound like you're doing a great job. I know you called a couple hours ago. I hope you got to rest. I'm like, rest? No, not with this pain. She's like, but I really think you should rest. I really think you should, take some more time. She wasn't even asking me questions. It was really upsetting me. Like, she was just like, oh, you're fine. Oh, you're fine. You would know because you would be in a lot more pain. And my whole thing is, guys, everyone's pain threshold is different. Like, everyone is different. So how can you tell me based off my voice? I know you've been doing this a long time, miss, but, okay? Everybody is different. So after I got off the phone with her and then cussed everybody around me out about her, I told my son's father, like, no, we're about to go in. I don't care what this lady is saying over the phone. I'm in pain. Like, this is not okay. Like, we have got to go. At this point, they were even closer. I think the contractions were like 3 minutes apart. And I'm just like, this ain't it. I couldn't breathe right. I was just going through it. I wasn't screaming and I wasn't gripping things, but I wasn't sure what I was going to be like, going into labor. Like, I'm not really big on pain. Like, nothing painful has ever really happened to me. I haven't broke any bones. I haven't really gotten into any accidents where I've had to deal with, a serious amount of pain. So I was just scared about that part. Like, gosh, this is going to be the most painful thing I have ever been through in my whole entire life. What am I going to do? I was watching videos. That's like the worst. I was watching all these horror videos about how much pain I was going to be in. But fast forward, I tell my son's father, nah, we need to go there. I don't care what she's saying. So we get in the car. He's driving like a mad person. At this point, I think it was like almost 12 a.m., I believe. Yeah, it was close to almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I remember because I called my family and I'm like, it's happening. Let's go. I had a birthing plan for my mom and my grandmother to be in the room with me. So the place that I went to was like a birthing center and not a hospital. So it was like a house and it had 3 bedrooms. And that's where you gave birth. Each bedroom had like a jacuzzi type of bath if you wanted to do a water labor or a water birth. And that's the way that it was set up. So I already knew that I wanted to do this naturally, no drugs. That was the plan from the get-go, from the beginning. I only got seen at the hospital like twice. But mostly I just went to the birthing center to get checked up and, talk to them about my birthing plan. So boom, we get there. And another thing is the person, the midwife that you were seeing the whole time, it was told that she may not be the midwife that delivers your baby because everyone has their set days. So of course, the woman that I was seeing, bless her little sweet soul, because she was the best. I think her name was Erin. She wasn't there that day. She couldn't be there until 2 or 3 days later. That just wasn't her day to, deliver babies. And the woman over the phone who was getting on my nerves, I just had a feeling she was going to be the one. And I was just over it. I kept telling my son's father, I do not want this woman to deliver my baby. I do not want this woman to deliver my baby. She doesn't even believe that I'm in pain based off of a conversation over the phone. So no, I just don't trust it. I don't trust her. So boom, we pull up to the place and we go inside And this little old lady with like silver hair and glasses greets us, and she's like, hello, can I help you? I'm like, yes, I called you over the phone. I decided to just come in because I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm like, just rushing through, and I'm just like, where's the bathtub? Where's the water? I'm having a water labor, like just trying to get it like done. Like, no, this needs to happen now. Whatever needs to happen, it needs to happen now. So she's just very slow and calm in all her actions. She's like, well, first of all, we need to check to see how far along you're dilated. Like, she was a little too calm for me. I was over it. I was looking at my son's father like, no, this is not it. I'm about to blow up. Like, I'm about to explode. So whatever. She's like, sit on the table. Let's check how far you are dilated first. Because if you're not dilated, that much, you're going to have to like go back home because you can't wait here. And all these rules, whatever. Cool. She puts me on the table and she goes, oh, you're 8.5 centimeters dilated. Do you guys know how upset I was? 8.5? Like, all I know is you have to be 10 to start pushing. So the fact that I was all the way at 8.5 just pissed me all the way off. Because if I would have left it up to that woman, I would have probably had the baby in the car on the way there. Or I would have probably had the baby at my baby father's brother's house, because you're telling me that I'm not in enough pain. I sound normal. I'm not out of breath. I should take a nap. Like, miss, these were all the things you were telling me. But it's real out here. Like, 8.5 centimeters dilated. Come on. So anyway, she goes upstairs. She runs the bath. I call my family. They get there within like an hour, some change like that. I don't know. I believe they came at like 2 a.m, a little bit after 2. And it's more people than I remember inviting, but I won't be shady. So it was my sister. Whoa, my voice. My sister, my little sister, my dad, that threw me for a loop, my mother, and my grandmother. And then my son's father was also in the room. There were 2 midwives, and my doula came. So this room was crowded, y'all. Like, this little bedroom, it was crowded. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because everyone who was there played a specific part in helping me through my labor and just making it amazing. I had somebody put lavender in the water. Someone was rubbing my feet. Someone was rubbing my shoulders. Someone was pouring water all over me. My sister was helping to help me remember to breathe. My grandmother and dad were cheering me on. And it was actually really beautiful. I have a lot of videos and pictures from everything, but I assumed 8.5 centimeters dilated, I'd be having the baby in like an hour or 2. No, guys, it does not work like that. I was still in labor for like another 5 to 6 hours. I did not have my son until 9:25 a.m. on April 29th, 2018. And I remember when they told me it was time to push, I only pushed for like 5 to 10 minutes. That was not the hard part. The labor was the hardest part. Like, I remember at a point I was like, okay, drugs, actually, yes. And they were like, girl, you've been past that point. It's not happening. It can't happen. Even if you wanted it to happen, even if you wished for it to happen, it's not happening. So I don't want to let you guys lead you on to believe I was like so super strong, because I definitely caved in and asked for drugs towards the end. But I'm glad that I didn't get them, because I brought my baby boy into this world naturally, beautifully, stress-free. It was amazing. It was beautiful. I wouldn't change it for anything ever. And I just am so happy to be a mom. I love all my mom friends. I love everyone who, has experience and is experiencing motherhood. And this just definitely goes out to all of you guys. Like, this is dedicated to all the mothers. Keep being great, keep being amazing, keep being super moms, keep doing it, because I see you guys and you guys are doing it. This is the hardest job ever, but like I said, I would never trade any of it for the world.